think it's so easy to place blame somewhere, right? And so sometimes it's so easy when someone is a small business and place blaming with a small business, but again, if you're ignorant and you don't know, you don't know better. And you can't know everything, what you should be doing, right or wrong, before you even start your business. Because, ignorance really is bliss. I'm like, I've been in business now for over 10 years. And so this is the first time I had heard about it. And I was like, what? Why is nobody talking about this? And so that kind of made me really fired up. Nobody's talking about this enough. They're kind of pushing it under the rug.
Welcome to the Dirty Heifers podcast. Soap making, small business, and so much more. Let's get dirty. Welcome back to another episode of the Dirty Heifers podcast. I'm your host, Margaret, and as always, I am joined by my favorite partners in grime, Jesse from Country Lather Soapworks, and Shauna from Bawana Bath & Body. We've got a serious but incredibly important topic today. We're talking about the side of business that usually stays in the shadows until it's knocking on your door with a legal summons. We are joined by the amazing Cindy from Euphoric Herbals. Cindy has built an incredible empire, but she recently faced a major hurdle, a lawsuit regarding her website's ADA compliance. She's here to pull back the curtain on that experience and help make sure that the rest of us stay protected. But before we dive into the legal weeds, it's time for our word of the week. You ready?
All right, Jesse. The word is spelled Litigious. That's a lot of I's.
Hold it closer to the camera.
Can't tell if it's...
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know that word.
Yeah.
I thought I was taking it easy on you.
I know.
Well, being what our episode's on this week, I'm gonna guess it's something to do with legal matters.
It definitely.
Did you want to litigate it? I see litigate in there.
Okay. Do you want to say try and pronounce it?
Litigious.
Litigious.
There you go.
Exactly. Okay, and it is something legal because you see litigate in it. And would you like to hear it in a sentence?
No.
What did Shauna do this time?
What did Shauna do now? Shauna was feeling particularly litigious this morning after she found out that Jesse used the last of the premium lavender oil. She's currently drafting a lawsuit for emotional damages and theft of scent against the entire soap studio.
And what's funny is I can't stand lavender.
But you make
I stole that crap to throw it away. So she's fixing to file a lawsuit against
She
me.
is fixing to file a lawsuit. Somebody who
You hurt
is
my feelers.
litigious is prone to seeking legal action and very fond of suing, right?
Yeah, that's...
So,
She filed a suit with most people today.
right. Do you have a redneck word of the week for us?
Or phrase.
I don't have a redneck word of the week. I have a city within the state of Mississippi today.
All right.
Bye.
So, because I totally forgot about, getting a redneck word. So I was, looking at Google Maps oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
All right.
So here we go.
Yes.
And
Vowels are spelled. Oh, my gosh.
what we do is we try to pronounce whatever ridiculous thing she puts on the screen. And then because it's not a redneck word or a phrase that she'll give us the meaning of, since it's a place, she'll hopefully have a fun fact ready.
All right, so it's spelled D''Lo.
And I'm going to say D-Lo.
Looks like
You
the
got
low.
it right on the first. You got it right on the first shot. D-Lo.
D-Lo. That's a little odd.
D-Lo.
So tell us a little fact about D-Lo, Mississippi.
So D-Lo, Mississippi is in Simpson County, which is very close to our state capital, Jackson. Okay, and the origin of D-Lo is a French word, which means bitter water, referring to the strong river that runs through Simpson County. And let's see here. The town was originally going to be called Millhaven, but the post office department rejected it, leading to the mail carrier to choose D-Lo. And it has a whopping population of 400 people.
Wow.
Nice.
It's crack-a-lackin' up there. And that's up there. That's north of me.
Okay.
Crack-a-lack.
Crack-a-lackin'. All right. So Welcome to the show, Cindy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into
Yeah,
the meat of
sure,
it?
sure. Yeah. So I'm an herbalist and I'm also a maker. I make a lot of teas and salves, and I started my business as a hobby 2010, but I've been doing it full time really since about 2015. But I've been doing online since 2010. I really started on Etsy a long time ago, and been doing online since then in a variety of different platforms. And then I have two brick and mortar stores that I opened, one in 2018 and 2022 in Delaware and Maryland. And yeah, so I've been doing this for a while and making products, and we do our own fulfillment and shipping and things of that nature. And we have our own product line, and then we have a lot of other great products that we sell at the Herbal Apothecary too.
Oh, well, that sounds awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us about the moment that you realized you were being sued. And how did a letter arrive? What was your very first thought?
So the very first thought was actually, I thought it came through an email, but it was not actually from the law firm itself that is being named in the case. It was a solicitation from another law firm, and then followed by another solicitation, like literally the day after this document was filed. And then
looking to represent you in this case?
Looking to represent me in the case. And then I got two documents in the mail. One from a website agency offering their services to make my website more ADA compliant, and then one from a law firm with a link and so I could download this document. And so when I got the first two emails, I thought, maybe this is one of those copyright scams that we get all the time from the copyright track thing. That's, everybody gets those almost every single week when you're new to business at this point. I thought maybe it's that. So I'm like, I'm just going to kind of Google it, look it up. I went to the state and the county court to look it up, and I couldn't find anything in their record system. I was like, okay, maybe it's not real. That's what I'm hoping. And then immediately I went to my website agency, the designers and developers I've hired, and I was like, what is happening with this? You guys have just designed my website, back earlier this year. What do you know about this? And I was immediately very frustrated with them because I was like, this is your responsibility. You are the experts. Right. You should know about this. And the response to say was disappointing, because they're just like, we've never dealt with this before. And they represent like dozens of clients every single month. They manage websites for really large businesses who do millions per year. And I'm like, that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And then
frustrating.
Yeah. And I just thought, well, I hired you for a reason to take care of my website. And that's kind of all encompassing to whatever that means, because you're the expert. I'm not.
Right. Right.
I'm not the expert. You guys are the expert. So I had an ongoing conversation. I said, well, I don't know if this is real or not, but I want to try to get ahead of this as much as possible. What do we need to do? What does this mean? And then I just started going down this rabbit hole of learning about ADA website compliance and kind of how ambiguous it is a little bit and what exactly it means. And then I did get some documents dropped off to my store on December 30th. Dropped off to my store to an employee who was working that day.
Of this year?
Just less than a month ago.
Just
less than a month ago. So this is all very, very new, right? So I'm just just in the early stages of trying to go down this rabbit hole and trying to figure out what is happening here. Obtained counsel. I think I talked to two lawyers, reached out to a couple of them, seeing who has experience in this. And just trying to make as much noise as I can about it. So people know, because I thought if I had found out about this, a year or 2 years ago, I would have been like, what does this mean? What do I need to do to prepare and protect myself against this, my small business? Because most small businesses don't just have thousands of dollars lying around waiting for a potential legal fund or whatever, they don't got, $20,000 or whatever it's going to be. Usually a couple $1,000s to hire a lawyer, and then it's going to be several $1,000s to settle. That's what they're always pushing you to do, because that is the easiest path of least resistance. Most people don't have money to go to court. And so just having conversations.
It's a money grab. I had heard about this a couple of years ago. I don't know if any of you follow the maker Mo River soap.
I don't follow
Missouri
it.
River. Okay, so this had happened to her. And she had mentioned it a couple of times in a YouTube video, and my husband and I looked at each other, and she talked about ADA compliance. And at the time, she mentioned what, because I'm trying to explain what I know of ADA compliance, because just so the listeners know as well. At the time, what I interpreted was that any picture on your website had to have a clickable description so that if somebody who was visually impaired, their e-readers could describe what's in the picture. And that's where my knowledge of ADA compliance ended. From doing a deep dive on some of your videos today, I now know that all of your buttons need to have ADA compliance. I did not know that. So then things like that. So what else is there that we need to know? And contrast. I didn't know about contrast in pictures that you shouldn't have, light gray lettering on a white background. Things, it's got to be, the contrast has to be enough so that it makes it easier to read. Yeah. What are some of the other things?
So some of the other things are you can have an accessibility statement. That's where you want to make sure that if someone is landing on your website, usually the accessibility statement should be in the footer of the website. And this gives them that you're always updating your website. You're in the process of trying to become compliant, essentially, to the best of your ability, and a way for someone to contact you, whether through phone or email, if they're not able to use your website based on their vision impairment and whatever tools or devices they're using. So there needs to be some way. Sometimes also chatbots may not always be accessible. So you can have a chatbot on your website, but it may or may not be accessible. So that's something to consider. That's something that somebody can use, but always not necessarily. So the alt text description on your images, that's one thing. Any videos that might also need closed captions or a way to change the audio on there, or a description of what it is, because maybe if somebody doesn't have if they're not able to hear the video, there needs to be closed captions. Also the menus, that's another thing that was kind of listed in the document that I got, because I sent the document a very detailed information to the agency that I've been using, and going, you need to address these things from pages 9 to 11. Whatever that means to you as designers and developers, address all those things. Of course, like when you have a website that's been around for a long time, as mine has been on Shopify for more than 10 years. I got a lot of stuff on there. I got a lot of pages.
We were discussing before you got on, when did all of this become a thing? When did the ADA compliance become a law that everyone had to follow? Are you aware or no?
Yeah, I think so. I think I want to say it was pre-pandemic. I think I want to say it was around 2018, maybe before then. But here's the thing that's a bit confusing, because it's based off the ADA law, which predates the evolution of the internet, right? So then they've made changes and updates to it of what that means for website accessibility. And so you can go onto the ADA website to read exactly what that means. And then also, as I've gone on the ADA website, it also means that government and public entities are excluded, and they have until April 2026 or April 2027 to become compliant. Right. So they can't be sued, but they have a time frame, but small businesses do not. Right. There's no time frame for them, right? I'm just like, okay.
The people who actually serve the public all the time.
I know, right? So, I mean, just, it enrages me. Like, it makes me so mad. Like, so mad.
It's almost, I feel like if my website is not ADA compliant and a customer can't use my website, then it's a loss for me. And that should be my punishment. Not somebody can sue me because they can't buy my soap.
Yeah.
No?
Exactly.
Right.
Right. It's not even that, though, right? Because these people who are suing, it's not that they're trying to buy your soap. They're not trying to use a website.
Right.
They're out there. They're
out
there looking for it.
Yes. And I think I want to touch on that a little bit later after we do ask a couple more questions. Like what you just said about it, small businesses have to. Most people think that I'm too small to be targeted. Why is that a dangerous mindset to have in 2026?
Yeah, because if you're online, you can be targeted. That's it. It's simple as that. It doesn't matter your revenue. It doesn't matter your size, how long you've been around. You can be targeted more than once. So just because you've been sued one time doesn't mean you can't be sued again. And so, I mean, there's stuff that's on public record. And so typically what they're going to want you to do is when you get sued, you want to settle. That's what they're pushing for. That's their goal, because that's the
It's quick.
it's quick and it's easy. It's gonna cost you less than going to court, but obviously we want to put ourselves in a position as small business owners to never be in that place of to be sued either. So,
Right.
my first thought when I started going down this was like, oh, maybe I need this tool or this widget. And it puts a person icon on your website to adjust accessibility options based on someone's disability and how they need to use and navigate your website. However, upon further discovery, that doesn't necessarily protect you either. It can make you actually a target for those law firms, particularly. So lawyers that I have spoken to and the research that I have done on different law firms saying that those tools and widgets give us a false sense of protection.
Right.
And some of those software companies have made claims that it was just, they were kind of embellishing a little bit how it was going to protect your website. And they actually ended up with a lawsuit themselves from the FTC about going, actually, you overstated how it was going to protect a small business, and it's not. And these businesses are still getting sued.
So then if you had a widget that said that I was going to be, compliant, and then somebody's suing me, couldn't I just then turn around and sue the widget?
You would think. You would think, but I'm sure like the people who develop these softwares and these tools, they've thought all these things through, and so they're still making a ton of money off of these small businesses because you're paying a monthly or yearly fee to use their tools and their services.
So
Yeah, I looked at a video when all this come about. Or was it last week or something like that? We were looking at it. I've got a Shopify website as well, and I was like, well, Shopify is super user friendly. Surely there's some sort of app or plug-in or something, And I got to looking on YouTube, and they were talking about this widget. It was like $50 a month. I'm like,
For a
So-
small business, that's a lot.
for a
It's a
maker
lot.
who's currently panicking listening to this right now, what would you say the first 3 things that they should check on their website today? Like if you just could, like, all right, I'm overwhelmed by all of this, give them 3 things to just start.
So the first thing that I would do is honestly just put an accessibility statement first on your website. Like that's the first thing I would do. That's what I've seen, because once I started going down the rabbit hole, I started looking for other businesses that are way bigger than mine within my industry to see how are they managing this. Do they have a widget on their website? Do they have an accessibility on their website? Like who have been in business for a very long time, are doing millions per year. How are they managing? And so I looked at their website. I kind of got some guidance based on that. And then I would look at, if you have a newer website that's not been around as long, it's going to be a lot easier for you to kind of tackle this. So you can, start making sure, depending on what platform you're using. The great thing about Shopify is on the back end, when you have your images, AI will automatically populate an alt text description image for you. And so you can just click check on there or modify it. And so that makes things a lot easier than instead of having to type every single thing in, so you figure if you have products, but if you also have blogs that have images, and this any image on your website, it's not even a product, or it could be something that's on your front page. It could be an image of you making soaps. It's not even on a product page or a blog. It's just on one of your main pages. Those all need to have descriptions on there. And then you can run an audit on there, and then you can figure out what are the most important things that I need to do. Now the audits, I tried to use the Chrome, I think it was called Wave. Wave, it's really hard to get a good audit on there. It was really buggy. And maybe it's just because, again, I'm not a designer or developer. So that's going to be a little bit harder for me to really understand what it's saying, but it comes up with a lot of errors and it gives you a score of what are the issues are and what need to be addressed. But there's a couple different tools that you can use to audit your website for ADA website compliance. And you could start from there, and maybe just, again, every month, maybe just schedule a reminder to run an ADA website audit report and figure out what are the most important things that I need to address and fix on my website.
So how has this experience changed the way that you view the online community and your role as an educator to all other small brands?
Right. So I wouldn't say it's influenced my experience with the online community per se. I think I'm really glad that people are getting awareness to what is happening. And some people, when something comes up, I think it's so easy to to place blame somewhere, right? And so sometimes it's so easy when someone is a small business and places blaming with a small business, but again, if you're ignorant and you don't know, you don't know better. And you
Right.
can't know everything what you should be doing, right or wrong, before you even
Right.
start your business. Because, ignorance really is bliss. And you go from there. And I'm like, I've been in business now for over 10 years. And so this is the first time I had heard about it. So it's something that it was completely new to me. And I was like, what? This is really important stuff. Why is nobody talking about this?
Right.
And so that kind of made me really fired up. Like, nobody's talking about this enough. They're kind of
Right.
pushing it under the rug. Like the small business owners who's being sued, because there's so many people that did respond to all the videos I was making on TikTok about it. Like, oh, it's happened to me. It happened to my friend. I'm like, why are we not talking about this? Like,
Yeah.
a lot more often, because
Right.
this is a really important. If someone's getting sued, it's going to cost them thousands of dollars. We should be preparing small business owners.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the serial plaintiffs, right? They just scan thousands of sites looking for one tiny error.
Yeah.
Did it feel like a personal attack, or you just see it as one of that's it? That's exactly it. It's somebody
No.
just.
No, it did. I didn't take it personally. I mean, I'm fine with taking feedback from customers. I've been doing this for a long time. I got a thick skin. I was in the military.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I don't take it personally, because it has nothing to do with me at all.
Right.
And what I think it is with these serial plaintiffs, obviously they're very much in cahoots with these litigious law firms, and that's their goal, is to make money.
Right.
I don't even know. I wonder. And I was like, is this person really visually impaired? Is this a real human being?
I doubt it.
Right?
It. I actually did a little digging into that part of it, and this is a whole new wave of website plaintiffs where they have automated scanners that they don't even look at your website. They just have scanners that crawl the web looking for common errors, like a missing alt text or a broken keyboard navigation. And instead of a formal lawsuit, they send you a demand letter. And the demand letter starts with, from a law firm asking for a settlement, usually between $5,000 and $20,000 to make the problem go away without going to court. And they just copy and paste those things over and over and over again to different websites. They're just sitting at home. They could have 25 different computers going all day long. There's be bot farms of crawling websites to make money on that.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very
But I
true.
did see that you. Well, I'll ask that after. Hold on, forget that.
You did say something that there's like 40 different law firms or something that are doing this.
Oh, and a lot of them are based in New York, California, and Florida.
Correct. Yeah.
And they're just doing over and over and over again.
Filing these lawsuits every single day.
And a big fear for makers is that an accessible website has to look boring or ugly, right? How do you balance your brand's beautiful herbal aesthetic with the technical requirements of the ADA?
Well, this is all new to me. So,
Right.
I mean, I've always tried to make my website easy to read. So like no neon crazy colors and
Right.
calligraphy fonts. Those are things I've never had on my website. So to again, as someone who doesn't have vision impairment, I've never thought about this.
Right.
Is this my website accessible? I've never had a single customer. Now I've served probably, I haven't calculated, probably at this point over 75,000 customers in store and online. A lot of customers. And I've never had anyone say, I can't navigate your website because I have a vision impairment. They've definitely given me feedback that there's been challenges, that whether things were loading slowly or it wasn't working, if there's buttons not clicking. I've gotten that feedback, and we can make those changes and fix those issues. But as far as like someone with vision impairment, I haven't received that feedback from a single customer at this time.
Okay. So, all right. Well, you call yourself like a systems nerd, right? So, but for a person who's listening and completely struggling to even just post an Instagram reel, how do you even begin to understand alt text or screen reader compatibility and things like that? Is that somebody who's just, you have to hire somebody to handle this for you, or can you attack this on your own?
I think the smaller you are, the easier it is. If you don't have a lot of stuff on your website now, I have hundreds of products on my website. So that's a lot to tackle. And as a small business owner, I have to look at really how valuable is my time? Is it spent best updating all these alt text description images or whatever else is supposed to be on there, or should I hire that out and outsource somebody, right? So it's just something where like if they go to whatever platform their website is on, they should have a help and database of some kind, support knowledge that's related to ADA website compliance. If they don't, then they should reach out to the support. So whether they're on Square, Shopify, Weebly, WordPress, whatever it is. Now WordPress doesn't have support, but whatever platform you're on, hopefully there's some type of community that you can actually then ask them what they're doing about website compliance as a maker.
And Jessie mentioned before that she just assumed that Shopify, being that they have so many different websites and it's so easy, would, have something to plug into it. I wanted to point out that, and I learned this from watching you today in my deep dive, that sites like Etsy and that they are responsible for the ADA compliance. So if you have a site, if you have a business and you have it on Etsy, this is something that really doesn't affect you unless you pull it and make your own website, because you're in control of it. So when somebody else like Etsy or Amazon or what's another one, eBay, something like that, they are the host, and they're taking a cut out of it. So they should be. And so you don't really get to manipulate and control the aesthetic and the look of the website. So you people are safe. But it's anybody who, if you are the person that controls it, then you're responsible for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And they do have templates, obviously, on the different platforms. So you can use one of their approved templates. But again, you might want to just still run an audit of some kind on that template, which sometimes you can preview that template on another before you use that template or that design. If you're not going to make any modifications to it, you could always try to see if you can run that template website through an ADA compliance and see what type of flags come up as is before you make any modifications and adjustments to it.
Right. And without getting into like the real numbers of it, so, that's all your thing. Can you give the listeners like a reality check on the costs? Like, is it cheaper to fix the site now or pay the legal fees later?
Oh, fix the website now.
Fix the website.
Like if you right. So if you're gonna like,
out there.
I'm just saying, like, if you had to hire someone. So I've actually had two ADA website audits and also proposals for an agency to come in to do these adjustments and fix on there. I was quoted $5,000 to $7,000 for them to fix my website. Yeah, $5,000 to $7,000. Now that was just two firms. I'm sure there's so many more I could go down, but I'm like, how valuable is my time when I already have an agency that's supposed to be doing all of the things that's their job. So if you can do it yourself, or maybe you hire someone on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever it is, and they're able to do it, and it's going to cost you $500 or $1,000. Like that's way better. And then of course, hiring a lawyer can cost you, whatever it is per hour, or a retainer, which I've seen in my research and the lawyers I've talked to, $4,000 to $6,000 for a retainer.
So can I ask, did you settle, or are you
I'm not even in there. I'm not even in that. I just hired a lawyer. So I'm not even that far down there. Okay. As far as like settling and things like that, it's
because
like,
I also did, I went and did, searched other places, and I did see a lot of people on Reddit saying that if you hire a lawyer and you fight it, they drop it. But now you have your lawyer fees as well. So,
right. But I was just thinking, like, you're talking about, they look at previous records, and if you get sued and settle, to me, that's putting like, blue light special at Kmart on your head. Like, hey, come here. They like to settle. Mm-hmm. Let's go sue them again. But if you hire a lawyer and fight it,
I would hope that if you settled, you've learned your lessons and you've made your website.
Right, but if they find just one little teeny tiny thing you missed, they can come back in again and say, like, well, this person likes to settle. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of where my brain goes.
Yeah. When they do audits, they check for a score. So when they're using these scanners, there's a score that comes up, and they want to try to keep your errors typically under, I think it's like 10 or 12 for the two different agencies that I spoke with about doing ADA website audits. And the proposals, they came back to me, they said, we want to get the score under this number and this number for whatever the certain areas. And that's their goal as the agency who fixes your website and does website remediation.
Mm-hmm. So I saw in a couple of your latest videos that you're calling your representatives.
I'm trying to call everybody and their mom.
Trying to get something established Well, I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. The
It's
Cure
legal and it's Notice and Cure Act.
Notice
So
and
they're
Cure Act.
Yep. So they're trying to pass this, ironically, in some of the states that are all there's where it's a lot of these lawsuits are coming out of. One is Florida, one is California. There was another state in the Midwest, but I can't remember. But it's called the Notice and Cure Act. And so what it is what is say if there's a law firm and this statute, I guess if you is called that this law is passed in your state. If a law firm comes after you and tries to sue you for ADA website compliance, that this Notice and Cure Act comes into place and allows you either whether it's 120 days or 60 days or 90 days or whatever it is. And the states that are trying to pass this legislation for Notice and Cure Act are typically like 120, 180 days. So a lot of time for you to update your website and fix it before the lawsuit moves forward.
What states are those?
That are trying to pass the Notice and Cure Act. It was Florida, it was California, and there was like another state or two out of the Midwest that I can't remember which ones they were.
And now here's another question, and you might not know it. If you don't know it, maybe somebody in the audience does. If something like that passed, would it make a difference where you are and where you're hosting, right? So like I'm in New York, but Jessie's in Mississippi. Does which law applies to her? Because I can purchase from her being anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Well, so the lawsuits are coming in currently out of states where the plaintiff is based out of. So it has nothing to do about where you're located at. But again, if these laws are passed in a state, that I'm not sure because to my knowledge, none has passed yet. And what precisely that means. Is it protecting the defendant in that state where they reside? Or is it about where they're doing business in Commerce Act? Because if you're shipping nationwide,
that was basically what I'm thinking. So if a lot the lawsuits are coming from New York and California passes the law, and they get sued by someone from New York, is the California business owner protected, or does it go by? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. So a lot of crazy questions. So, all right, how about this? Running a business is, we all know, all four of us know how extremely, it's exhausting already. How do you manage the stress of a lawsuit while still showing up to lead your team and serve your customers and the apothecaries and then still have time to make videos and make phone calls to all your representatives?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, obviously being an herbalist, so I use a lot of herbal adaptogens. So I use herbal remedies for that reason, and I joked to a girl on my team the other day and I said, oh my gosh, there's all this stress. I'm either going to have to start like exercising a lot more. I'm going to start drinking. Like, I don't know which one it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think I should be drinking because I think that's a slippery slope right now. I'm just saying. Slippery slope. So that means I really actually need to be intentional about exercise to manage all this stress, like on top of the adaptogens. And, I think just honest, I have 8 or 9 employees, and I'm just totally honest with them about what's happening within the business. I'm just very transparent about like, hey guys, this is what's happening. Just FYI, just so they know like what I'm dealing with, like, because I'm not going to show up and act like everything's okay because it's not okay. Like, absolutely not.
Right. Well, they should know what's going on because it might affect them in the long run. Yeah,
absolutely.
Is there anything that I missed?
I think what this experience has taught me is like, okay, well, I'm really mad, right? I'm really upset about this. And I was like, but now I feel like I've been activated to make change, right? I'm just like, I'm not going to be mad and do nothing about this. I'm actually going to create change. So for me, it's like I've reached out to the Attorney General. Now I live in Delaware and I have a store in Delaware and Maryland. So I'm like contacting the Attorney General of both states. I've emailed congressmen, representatives, legislators, the SBA, the SBDC, the Delaware Division of Small Business, and the NFIB, which is the National Federation for Independent Businesses. They actually have lobbyists on our behalf. I've had a reply back from one person out of like more than a dozen that I've emailed, more than a dozen. And I did speak to the legal team at the NFIB, and so they said, can we share your experience? Sometimes we write about our members, about their experience of what they're having. I said, do whatever you need to do, like to bring awareness to this. It's not about me anymore. It's about small business owners just in general.
I'm wondering if there's some kind of a nationwide like petition or something.
There is a petition. Well, it's already started 2 years ago. I already signed it. Yeah. Somebody started in 23. It only has 700 signatures.
That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've never heard of it. So, I mean, if we could
Yeah.
get it, if you could get us a link to
Yep, I'll
it,
share you the link
we'll
to it.
fantastic. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, that was one of my next questions was like what we should all be doing in our own states to try and enact this change because like you said, there's no
Right.
guideline for when small businesses need to be compliant. So they're taking advantage of the ambiguity.
When she gives me a link, I'm going to put the link in the description on this video.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this, click on that link and sign that petition, especially if you are a small business owner, which most of our listeners are small business owners.
And if you're not, if you're just a fan, or if you just you patronize a lot of small businesses, still go sign it.
Yeah, go sign it.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you're not a small business owner, you know someone who is.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess we should all be like advocating within our own states too.
Yeah.
100%. So
Because I'm like, I'm basically right next door to you. I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm like between the two.
yeah. Yeah, I would be contacting your representatives, and making sure they know about this, are they aware about this, and what are they going to do? So I've emailed all of mine. I haven't heard back, so I'm going to make some phone calls, and then my next step is then to reach out to local media and news stations because I'm like, I've got a tiger by tail and I'm not letting go. Like I'm mad.
Good.
So I'm going to just
Make
keep
as
moving
much
forward.
noise as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to help my cause at this point right now. I don't think it's going to really stop with I've got moving. I still have to deal with what I'm dealing with at this point. Who knows where we'll end up. If it could get dismissed, that would be beautiful. But that means I'm still at lawyer fees regardless. And I'm still at a lot of time and energy and frustration. All of those things, I can't get those back.
Right. And then I was like,
It's all about putting a spotlight on the issue, though.
yeah. I thought maybe our insurance would cover something like that for the HSCG. It does not. Just so you guys know out there, it only covers product liability, not website. Yeah, we need to really bring more awareness to this.
Yeah.
So we do a segment called This or That, where I throw out two things, and you have to decide really quickly which one you would rather, like a would you rather. So this is This or That Compliance and Tech Edition. Okay. DIY or hire a pro when it comes to fixing your own website errors?
It depends how much time and money you have. So we're at this stage in my season, hire a pro because I've done all the DIY.
Right.
I'm hire a pro.
You're a hire a pro. How about you, Jess?
I'm going to try to do it myself.
I'd do it myself too.
Try is the key word.
I'll try. I'll try again. Video tutorials or written manuals for learning new tech?
Oh, video tutorials, hands down for me. I want to screen share.
Yeah,
Yes.
same.
Videos.
Shopify or WordPress?
Shopify. I've had websites in all of the platforms in all of the years. Shopify, hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do you say, Shauna? You've had both.
Shopify was easier to use, but WordPress is more customizable. That's why we ended up there.
Right. Okay. All right. I don't know. I have WordPress and I might jump ship.
Yeah. What about I think about the thing with WordPress, it's so vulnerable to threats and attacks. So you always have to put up all these firewalls and all these, you have to pay for all that.
Right.
It's such a pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shopify all the way.
All the way. A clean minimalist site or a busy information packed site?
I think it depends on your business, really. I mean, I like the clean minimalist, but at this point of my season business, I need more information from people.
All right. I would like both. I don't know. Bright brand colors or high contrast text when it comes to accessibility, obviously.
You said bright brand colors, not bright if it's not going to be accessibility. No.
Right, exactly. Captions or transcripts?
Captions.
I put captions on my videos anyway, so.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Well, Riverside automatically does it.
Yeah. I watch TV with captions all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Captions always get me wrong anyhow.
Yeah, captions.
This is true.
Don't do you any favors.
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Desktop view or mobile app? Which ones do you check first?
Well, mobile app is the most important. Even though I prefer looking at things on desktop, but I know that's how my users are. It's mobile.
Agreed. I'm personally a desktop person, but I get how important the mobile is. Automatic updates or manual control when it comes to your plugins and stuff?
Crickets.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on WordPress anymore, but I did use WordPress and I preferred to do the manual updates just in case the update wasn't great.
Yeah.
When I did have it, if the update
a lot
was
of times
glitchy.
you get an update and the update breaks something, and then you got to
Right.
figure out what happened.
That's why, like our web guy, that they do them all in manual, so they know what broke it when it breaks.
Yeah. And so there's no plugin updates on Shopify?
The apps. So if you have an app on there, usually they will sometimes auto update. Sometimes you have to update them, but not too often. They will automatically update on their own.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had to update one at all.
Live chat support or a detailed FAQ page?
I know for me it's
prefer-
going to be an FAQ page.
Yeah. I feel like people don't read anymore, to be honest. It doesn't matter. So chat support. People don't want to go look for a detailed FAQ page. They're honestly just a little bit too lazy for that. They just want the answer right now.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that. I just don't have the time to run a chat support on top of everything else right now.
No.
I had a widget that did a chat support, and I did it for a while, but it would keep turning off the notifications on my phone. So people would say something, and I'd never get a message. So it was really annoying, and it didn't look that great on the website.
Yeah. I use Gorgeous, so that makes things a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah, for chat and messaging, pulling all that customer data information. I don't know if Gorgeous works with WordPress, but I love it. So it makes things a lot easier for me.
How about you, Jess? Do you have chat support on yours?
I do. I have a Shopify inbox.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
It's a chat option. Very, very seldom. Now, when TikTok was running those ads, that dude was going off like all the time. But I might have like 3 messages a month now.
yeah. What about legal insurance or a tech consultant? Where would you put your protection money?
Legal insurance at this point, based on my experience.
Well, because you did a tech consultant, and that didn't help
Well,
you.
right, the agency, they're
Right.
designers and developers who manage a lot of stuff, and they kind of like, we don't know. And I'm like, that's not a good answer. All of the websites you manage need to be ADA compliant. Like,
I don't understand how, if you're a web developer, I guess you could just become a web developer, and you don't really need any kind of. If your websites look good, people don't really know
Right.
what they don't know.
right? Which
Yeah.
It's just
puts you in the position
like we've
where I
talked
am.
about before. Like we talked about before, like you have a certain responsibility to your consumers, right?
Right.
We talked about that all the time, and I feel like website developers who are managing websites have a certain responsibility to know what's legally required.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's negligible
I agree.
to not make things ADA compliant when somebody's paying you to do a website. Like, and if they're like, I could see if I said, these are my brand colors, I need to use them. I don't care, whatever. But come back at me and say, well, this should change because give me the option.
Right.
But if they don't know it, well, I guess. All right. So we also have a segment where it's the question of the day. And it's a question that I'll ask you guys, and then hopefully some of our listeners will hear the question of the day and answer it in the comments. And our question of the day today is, what is one tech thing on your website that you've been procrastinating on because it feels too intimidating to fix?
Yeah, there's so many things, but that's why I have designers and developers, like that's their job. So that it doesn't all fall on my shoulders because I've got a lot of things to do on there. For me, it's probably updating a lot of my cost of goods of items. That's one little thing of making sure that's in there and that profit margin is where it needs to be in that sweet spot. And so in Shopify, it has that built in. I don't know about WordPress and what themes they're in, but it has that in there where you can put in your CPI, your cost per item, your cost per good, and then you can put in your retail price in there, and it lets you know that profit margin that it's at. So that's something that I try to do every year is go through my products by category and look at my cost and come up with an average and just kind of update my prices if I need to.
Interesting. That's a really cool feature.
It's a very cool feature. Yeah.
How about you, Jesse?
Same thing as her. I haven't updated my cost per item in I don't know how long.
All right. Shauna?
This is why I have someone to do my website for me.
Because you're not. I would like to make my website into a different theme. And I just know that is a lot of work. So I said that I was going to do it because I'm a teacher during the year. Like my day job is I'm a school teacher. And I was like, I'm going to do that this summer. Guess what I did not do this summer? Update my theme.
Right. Yeah. Maybe outsource it. Find someone on Upwork.
Yeah. I can outsource some things, but I have this absolute fear of handing over like the back end of the website. I just am so terrified, and I don't know why. I'm afraid that somebody's going to put like a backdoor in there that they can get in later on and I don't know, steal all my customers' information.
Right. And that's the thing with WordPress. With Shopify, you can limit how much access and control they have.
Ah.
Yeah. Not an ad for Shopify, but I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying, I've been thinking for a little while about, jump and ship, especially because I want to change themes and I want, you know what I mean? So like, if I'm going to make the change.
I think we do have limit on what they can do on our WordPress.
Yeah, we might. I might just not know enough about it. So what other things do we need to talk about besides everyone needs to be aware of this and at least check out your own websites? And you talked about Wave before and the different, that's just, there are several different websites out there that will do scans on your website and they will tell you what is ADA compliant and what's not, what your mistakes are. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. The Wave one that you were talking about and was it Lightbox? Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Those are free and you get what you pay for. So the free ones are not going to be as helpful as some of the paid ones. Anything else that we forgot?
No, check with your insurance. That's one thing I'll be doing is submitting a claim with my insurance for this as well to see if it'll be covered, at least for the legal fees, and see how it's going to protect my business. Because I'm due for renewal anyways at the end of next month. So I'm like going to get quotes and to make sure it's my new quotes with new possible insurance providers that this would be covered, something of this nature, because they have something for cybersecurity, which is not the same thing. That's if you're hacked in a different way. And then, your customer's information is stolen. This is not the same thing as cybersecurity. So it wouldn't fall under that policy.
Interesting. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Very good tip. A huge thank you to Cindy from Euphoric Herbals for being so transparent with us today. Website compliance might not be as sexy as making soap or blending herbs, but keeping your business safe is the ultimate act of self-care for your brand. Be sure to check out Cindy's work and her mission to help other small businesses. We'll see you all next week for more shop talk and shenanigans. And until then, stay dirty, Heifers.
She had long hair and a short miniskirt. I just got on stage dripping, pouring with sweat. I was walking through the crowd, and guess who I met? I whispered in her ear, come to the picture booth so I can ask you some questions to see if you're 100 proof.
This video is so cheesy.
I know.
Blah, blah, blah. She had, I only have a friend. Come on.
Come on.
What you going for? It's what I'm going to sing.
You got what I need.
Oh, yeah. I've heard this part.
And you say he just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need.
I don't think he's really playing.
Oh, baby, you.
What?
Okay, pause.
Why? Did you say why?
I said what? Because she's.
Oh.
Okay. So, Men in Black 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When they're in the... Will Smith's going in the post office to get K or whatever back. You know. Do y'all remember the big black guy that rapped talking to the other aliens in the post office?
Oh, yeah.
That's this guy. Welcome to my stupid talent.
Association.
More like he was doing
associate.
like, what do they call that? Not
Like
speak,
beatboxing.
No, it was, well, I guess it kind of was beatbox. I'm thinking of like
Like a rap battle?
scatting.
Scatting.
It's almost, I know it sounded like scatting, but it was kind of more like beatboxing too.
Beatboxing, yeah. But that's this guy right here. I just looked. That's why I leaned in. I'm like, that's him.
That's funny.
I totally forgot about that scene.
Was he in it? Now I have to look it up. Mar
Key.
Men in Black. Yep.
Was that really him?
Yep.
Legendary moment in Men in Black 2.
Yeah, that's funny. Good eye.
Biz Marquis' movie appearance as the beatboxing alien in Men in Black 2. That's hilarious.
That is awesome.
That's kind
That's-
of. That's
Well, I was thinking of Men in Black when she kept every time she says NFIB. I think of the Men in Black.
What?
NFIB. Oh,
She
the
kept talking
Cindy.
about
Yeah.
NFIB.
Oh.
She said like the NFIB, and I'm like the MIB. Anyway.
So another association I put together the other day. You remember when I asked y'all if y'all ever seen Return to Oz?
Yeah.
And I was talking about the TikTok, how I was walking kind of like TikTok, and y'all had
Yes.
never seen the movie
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay, so Dorothy or the child, Dorothy in that movie is actually the girlfriend from the Waterboy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize it until I looked at him like, that's the chick off the Waterboy.
That's so funny.
The same one that was in like the Witch Sheet movie.
This is a talent that John has too. We'll be watching something and he'll go, I remember that guy from the 1982 McDonald's commercial. I think he was about 4 at the time. And I'm like, fuck you.
I recognize
Yeah,
him all the time, too.
I'm
I'll
not-
be like,
I'm
oh,
not
that's
that
so-and-so. My
good.
husband's like, what?
No, he's that good. I'm not that good. I'll be
I'm not that good, but I'll be like, oh, hey, that's so and so. My husband's like, who? What? Where? Like he doesn't even catch it at all.
yeah.
That's Farrell. He don't catch it.
I'm the who, what, where.
So
All right.